Hi everybody, I'm Matt from Prairie Hill and welcome to the question of the week. Today we're going to talk about what is net lease real estate. So a picture's worth 1,000 words, so let's take a look at what net lease properties look like. What kind of properties are we talking about? Here's some photos. So as you can see from the photos, we're talking about shopping centers, we're talking about quick service restaurants, industrial properties, even office properties can have an element of net lease to them. So these are the kind of properties we're talking about. So the unifying factor here is that they have a net lease between the tenant and the landlord. And a net lease is characterized by the tenant sharing in or paying for expenses such as property taxes, insurance, and maintenance on the property. Now, a lease is an agreement between two parties, and it's always the outcome of negotiations and the particular circumstances surrounding those negotiations. So there's going to be a lot of diversity in how those terms kind of come together. But in all cases, net lease is going to have the tenant paying some of those expenses. So what's the opposite of a net lease? The opposite is a gross lease. And a gross lease is what most people are familiar with. This is the type of lease where the tenant is responsible for paying rent and the landlord is responsible for paying for everything else: maintenance, property taxes, insurance. So that when you hear net lease or you hear triple net lease or absolute net lease, this is what we're talking about. The types of properties that we showed you and a situation where the tenant's gonna pay part of those expenses. Why would a tenant want to be in a net lease? I think is a question probably a lot of you are thinking. There's a number of reasons for it, but the biggest reason is that the user, the tenant, the user of the real estate in net lease real estate is a business, and that business has to make investment decisions for itself, whether it's going to invest in making acquisitions of other businesses, launching new products. And real estate's very expensive. So often a business doesn't want to buy its own real estate because it's going to have to commit a lot of cash and capital to that real estate. And it's better for the business if they invest in higher return opportunities available to that particular business. The other element of this is control. If you're running your company out of a particular location, you're going to want to have control over how the maintenance is done, because that maintenance might affect different parts of your business, parts of your customers' experience with your product or service. So those are some ideas there to answer some of those questions. I hope everybody got some information on what net lease real estate is, and we want you to stay tuned. We're going to be doing these informational videos every week. Please like and subscribe. If you have additional questions on net lease, please comment down below. And until next time, keep investing.